Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Shooting the with Yankee. As always, I'm Yankee, so let's start shooting. Today's topic comes from one of my viewers over on our Discord we just started, which I will put a link to in the upper corner of this video. If you want to be able to talk about gun-related stuff or whatever, anytime you want, go on over to our Discord. Like I said, it's linked in the upper corner. But one of our viewers over there asked me, what are some of our hobbies besides guns and shooting? He wants to see where we overlap on stuff. You know, gun guys are usually animal lovers. They're usually car guys. You know, there's a lot of overlap, and he wants to see what it is. Well, I'll start us off here, and I'll say probably my next biggest love next to guns and shooting, well, it's really constitutional advocacy is my real thing, but I do love guns and shooting too, is probably cars. I think everybody knows I love cars. I spend most of the money I spend is on cars. Cars and guns are the only two real expenses in my life. I obviously don't spend money on clothes or grooming or anything else. So cars and guns are the biggest expense. Also, comic books. I love comic books. Motorcycles also. And I'm also a big cryptid fan. Especially I love horror movies and stuff like that, or movies about cryptids. You know, just a big fan of that genre in its entirety. So really, I'm going to have to say, other than guns and shooting and constitutional stuff, which was related to the guns and shooting, it's cars, motorcycles, comics, cryptids, horror movies, you know, just all kinds of things I really like. But the two big ones would be guns and cars. So cars is my next big thing. Oh, and animation. I really love anything animation related. That kind of goes with comics, but I have a house full of animation related collectibles. So animation is also a big thing for me. Love Warner Brothers, Disney, just all of it. The DC animation, Marvel anime, all that stuff. I love all, especially the classic, you know, DC and Disney and Warner Brothers, Bugs Bunny, Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, all that stuff. Love it, love it, love it. Can't get enough of it. That rhymed. I didn't even mean for that to do that. But now that I've started us off, let's go over and see what other people got to say. A Nominal Snowman says, no hobbies besides guns now. Cars, motorcycles, and music, drums, guitar, recording, etc. But nothing now. Don't shoot anymore either. Just collect guns right now. Okay, that's I don't know if that's a response or a cry for help, but that was a Nominal Snowman. Derek Moritz says, I collect Zippo lighters and Yankee magnets. I saw a picture of his safe door he sent. It has a ton of Yankee magnets on it. I think everyone should collect my magnets. So go over and buy some magnets from my website. If you want to support the channel, that's a good way to do it. Go over to my website, TYMPpistolproject.com. From there, you can buy merchandise, or you can sign up to be a Subscribe Star or Patreon member. Come on, $2 a month won't hurt you, but it might save an animal. You might think $2 does nothing, but if 10 of you give $2, or that's $20. If 100 of you give $2, that's $200. That might set a broken leg. That might get antibiotics for a puppy that's ill. That might get some parvo treatment. So going over, do very little and make a difference. So going over, sign up. Like I said, there's a link in the upper corner of this video. I used that opportunity there as a little plug. But the Zippo lighters, my stepdad collected those. My son's got a couple of them now that were his. Sean Bain says, I write short horror fiction stories for a local group. I volunteer at the local homeless shelter, teaching them basic culinary skills, play bass, and do EDM music. EDM? You're a little old for EDM, aren't you? The other stuff is very nice, but EDM, come on. That looks like grandpa dancing to disco music. You know, it just seems weird. But very writing is fun. I used to be a writer. I used to write quite a bit. I used to write fiction, and I also used to write articles, like gun articles and stuff. I've ghostwritten articles in lots of publications. You know, the person whose name's on it will call you and say, hey, you've got experience with this. Will you write me an article? And you do it, and you there you go. Let's see here. Where was I? Then we got Officer Tater Hater chiming in, says, love fishing, gaming, and horror flicks. Okay, I like one of those three things. Used to like fishing, but then I got older and like I'm just kind of like standing next to a river looking retarded. So I'd rather be doing something else. But horror films I really love. I'm a big horror film fan. In fact, if a movie doesn't have monsters, robots, aliens, or something like that in it, I'm just not interested in it. I'm more of a horror, science fiction, fantasy fan. That's about all I watch. What else did he say? Red Dead Redemption and the Alien Saga, big Trekkie and Star Wars nerd. Well, I like Star Trek, Star Wars as much as anybody, but I'm not a nerd about it. I'm a cool Star Wars guy. I also make room to piss off the popo, sent emails, make Bubba's big weenie great again. At least he didn't get nasty with it that time. Single Barrel Snob. Never seen that name on here before. Single Barrel Snob. Some of my hobbies other than guns are whiskey, hence my username. Oh, that's what I thought it was like single barrel shotgun. I didn't even think of single barrel whiskey or single malt this or single, but that didn't cross my mind. I would have thought just like he likes single barrel shotguns. Whiskey, hence my username. Knives. Yeah, knives. I like knives too. Watches. I really never been a big watch guy. I don't really. Timex is what I usually wear and then now I've got an Apple Watch. And you see, I almost never wear that. Just never been a big watch guy. Some people love their watches. I've seen my brother-in-law has spent so much money on watches. Like we were in the Caribbean one time and he bought a Rolex. I'm like, good God, I could buy a car. I don't know why people spend that much on, but you all spend money on that. And before the amputation, martial arts. Well, that's a story that needs telling, but that's what Single Barrel Snob says. Pigar, why do people just throw stuff like that in there? Pigar, is it true trucks got bigger because emissions is determined by how big the truck is? That's why Rangers are as big as 10-year-old F-150s. Well, that doesn't have anything to do with the topic. I should have got to that in the other chat, but I don't know. But I do know bigger vehicles have less strict standards. If the bigger the footprint, the heavier the vehicle, the less stringent the emissions requirement is. So that probably is a factor. I never really thought about it, but it probably is. But yeah, it's true. I mean, F-150s now are as big as, Rangers now are as big as like F-150s from years ago. My full size, even my 96 full size out here, it's not nearly as big as the full size truck now. It looks like a baby truck next to them. That was off topic, but you spurred my interest there. John M. Mandrick says, is this a dating profile channel now? Reading science papers and messing with Twitch streamers. I guess those are his interests. I like reading science papers too sometimes if they're not too dry. But I don't know how to mess with Twitch streamers because I don't know. I didn't even know what Twitch was till someone told me in the chat. But apparently it's a thing. I didn't know that. But yeah, sounds like a fun time, I guess. Do you get drunk first before messing with Twitch streamers, or do you do that sober? Edgar Cortez weighed in and said, my other interests include classical piano performances. Oh, I thought he was going to say playing classical piano. I love watching a good pianist. I watch a couple of YouTube channels where they play classical, but then they mix in modern stuff with it, and it's really cool. I also love someone who's really good with a violin or a fiddle. Working out in my gym. I got a gym. I don't work out in it hardly at all. I run. Chess. I never got into chess. And astronomy. We have dark skies in South Texas. Yes, I bet you do. I've never been into astronomy either. I know some people love that stuff. I got a good friend who loves it. I'm like, oh, it's a star. He'll say, look at this. And I'll be like, oh, it's the moon. Just not the biggest fan, but people love it. I wonder how many astronomers or astronomers or what do you guys call yourselves other than nerds? Edgar Cortez also said, I think your members who quit when they disagree with you about something are candy asses. We can't agree on everything, but we can still respect one another. Yeah, it's mainly the people. Well, it's not just the Trump tards. I mean, the Trump tards leave in droves anytime you say anything about Trump. If you say he's not keeping his promises, they leave in droves because they can't accept that. They cannot accept they have to reject the reality and create their own, and they don't want you messing with that. But also like the tactitards and stuff. Whenever I say something about tactical trainers overemphasizing things or saying stupid stuff, they also leave. So they're very sensitive people. They're very sensitive, especially the Trump lovers. Oh, and the Christians. When people find out I'm an atheist, they leave in droves too, because they're very sensitive also. Let's see, where are we at here? Dale Rickety, who isn't dead, by the way, in case people were wondering. So we'll hold off on getting the catapult for a while. Tools, I like tools too. I should have said tools. Woodworking, I also used to do woodworking. I don't do it now. Making stuff, drums, cymbals, art, that's cool. That's about it for now. Well, that's a lot to do for someone your age. I mean, I don't think you're going to get all that done before you're dead. So it means maybe set your goals a little lower. You know, that list is pretty, extensive and pretty optimistic. I was like, maybe say, watch a movie, eat some pudding. That might be what you want to go to. Because, we ain't got a lot of time left. We have more time behind us than in front of us. Mr. Furley said, I like going to the gym, reading, sports, and music. I think a lot of people like a lot of things. Going to the gym, though. Anything makes me sweat, I'm not really that into. And then whenever you say that, people say, oh, yeah, what about sex? I'm like, well, if you do it the way I do it, then you don't sweat. And I ain't that into it anymore. I'm too old. Porthos chimed in here and said knives. Hinder, Strider, Dimka. I guess those are names. I don't even know those ones. Pins, watches, Omega and Zelos. Flashlights. I mean, flashlights to me are a necessary thing, but a lot of people love them. Cars. Yep, cars. That's always a good one. 2017 Black H3 and 2023 Plum Crazy Hellcat. I love the Plum Crazy. I had a Plum Crazy Charger ordered when they shut down production at Stellantis. And I was like, motherfucker. That's when I ended up getting that, not the Mustang I had, but the one before. I ended up getting an S550 Mustang instead. And I still regret that I never got the Charger. Never got the track before I die. Both manuals, lucky bastard. I missed my manual now that I went back to Mustang because it's an automatic. I could have got a stick shift, but didn't have the packages I wanted. So I had to choose between packages or stick shift. So I went with the packages. Because I didn't want to change things like suspension and stuff afterwards. So, and then we got one more person weighing in here. Oh, he also said cats, Star Wars, Star Trek, YouTube. Don't fucking talk about YouTube to me. I don't like them. They're mean. I got one more person weighing in here. It's Single Barrel Bob. He says, you know me as Clint Harrison. Oh, well, then why did you change your name? People, I can't keep up with all these names. Y'all are confusing me even more than I need to be. But thanks, everybody, for coming. That's it for us today. How about you out in YouTube land? If you're a gun lover, what are your hobbies other than guns and shooting? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you ever want to weigh in on one of these topics in person or just join our general chat, come to our live chats. We do them every day at 6 p.m. So come on in, join in the fun, I guess I should say. Hope to see you in the chat soon. As for everybody else, thanks for coming. Thanks for participating. Thanks for supporting the channel. Everything you do is appreciated. We need you now more than ever. So keep it up. I hope to see y'all again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe till I see you again. And click on Welper's link there and go buy some merchandise or become a supporter of the channel. We'll be nice to you, I swear. Unless you're ugly.